you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Bruins Vibes.
Bruins win the Stanley Cup.
Frazier going into the corner. But, oh,
there goes a pane of glass on a gigantic.
Are you kidding me?
That is an arm! On the arm!
The sickest Boston Bruins podcast.
Sends it in, and it's Pastrnak scores! Series winner for David Pastrnak and the Bruins.
It's gonna be sick.
Hey, here we are. It's a coffee and donuts edition of Bruins Vibes podcast. The morning after the Boston Bruins defeated the St. Louis Blues 5-2. I'm your guy, Brendan Sennott. With me is Hockey Scribe, the guru, the Jedi of the National Hockey League media circuit, my pal, my friend, the Murph Doggy Dog. What up, Murph? Happy Friday.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
It's Friday, man. I'm feeling good. Most of my work is done for this week.
Oh, nice.
Got to get organized. So it's going to be a good weekend here at Casa de Senate, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, man? Yeah, I know Murph's playing hurt. That's why we're doing the show today.
Yeah, I apologize, guys. Just that whatever I had before I went to Ireland, I kind of battled it throughout the trip, but it will not go away. And it's been it's that combined with the time difference, acclimating back and not being able to sleep. I feel like a truck hit me, but I'm getting through, buddy. I got the weekend ahead. I just gotta take my daughter to her high school team is playing King Philip, and out of Rentham, Mass. They're playing the Super Bowl at Gillette Stadium tonight, so take her to that, and then
It's a big deal.
Gonna rest the whole weekend.
What's their mascot? What's the school mascot?
Well, they're a Warrior, but I don't. Their mascot isn't. It's just
The Warriors. That's like
their team name is Warriors. Yep.
All right. So good luck to the Warriors tonight out there at Gillette.
They're actually
Hopefully.
they have not lost in over 2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you don't.
Now they're
Hopefully you
gonna
don't
lose.
mush them.
I just killed them.
Yeah. You're gonna be the mush. All right. Don't do the Brendan mush. That's that's bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, all right, Murph, let's get into it. Hopefully we have some commenters here. There's our guy Ethan already checking in. That guy is loyal as the day is long. So yeah, Bruins with an impressive win last night over the Blues, 5-2. A game that really might have been their best game of the season all around. It really was never really in jeopardy. The Blues cut it to 2-1 there to begin the second, but then the Bruins quickly answered, and that was pretty much all she wrote when Arvidsson buried that slap shot. Zaka had two tucks, a goal and 2 assists for my favorite player, Morgan Geekie, the guy that I reverse mushed. 3 assists for Elias Lindholm, the red hot and suddenly on the scene Alex Steeves with the goal and an assist. And Korpisalo was spectacular with 37 saves. So all in all, a great effort in Jim Montgomery's return to TD Garden and Boston. The first time he talked to the Boston media was yesterday before the game. But first, let's get your thoughts on the game, Jimmy. Like, what were your thoughts? How the squad looked, and your overall opinion of that W last night?
Well, I mean, look, obviously they faced a team that's sputtering right now. It's not doing too well. Jordan Binnington is like a shadow of himself. He just seems lost right now. And it was a good game to have coming back from the road. And after the game they had in Detroit, but I'm going to go back to Marco Sturm, and we talked about this with Bridget the other day, and in terms of how he's made accountability at the forefront here with this team and how he's holding them accountable, and he's not afraid to sit guys in games or game by game, or to call them out in the media. And as I messaged you the day before, Brendan, they had a scheduled CBA day off the ice. But that doesn't mean, they can't do workouts and stuff like that. Or
he called them in to meet.
So he actually, it was not scheduled. It popped up on Wednesday morning. We got the press release from the Bruins that they would be holding media availability at noon. And I love that. And it's not just because I'm media. I'd love it if I was a fan. That's him saying, yeah, you guys may have a scheduled day off, but that doesn't mean you're going to escape being accountable for the disgusting performance you put on in Detroit. And don't give me it was a 1-goal game and all that. We all watched that game. That was not a close game. Yeah. Detroit led up at the end, and the Bruins, almost stole a point, but keyword stole. They did not deserve.
If the Bruins would have showed up, they probably win the game.
Yeah, but that was not. There was no way they deserved a point in that game.
100%.
And so he made them show up and face the media. Because a lot of media doesn't travel with the team anymore, right? I think basically it's just the Globe that's traveling with the Bruins these days, unless it's a really close by driving distance game, whether it's
Crazy.
New York or Jersey or Montreal. Usually it's just the Globe that's traveling. So they don't really they have to go out and face one reporter after an embarrassing performance. So he's like, no, screw that. You're going to come down on your day off and you're going to face the masses and explain why you sucked the night before. I think that factored into last night. I think that makes them say, man, if this guy's going to do that to us, we don't want to have a performance like that again. And you combine that with them facing a sputtering St. Louis team, it was a perfect recipe for a win. So I not taking away anything the guys did on the ice last night. You name the guys that were the stars, but I give a lot of credit to Marco Sturm for that win last night.
Yeah, and we talked about it, and we wondered when we did the post game after the Red Wing game, whose will was going to be more forthcoming, right? Was it going to be Sturm being pissed, or was it Monty putting money on the board, coming home for how kind of the Bruins let him go and that whole thing? And it turned out Marco Sturm's pissed, defeated, Monty's wanting to get payback.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even close. And like you said, it's really got to make you feel good as a fan that this guy is out in front of it. He's no nonsense. Like we said with Bridget, like you just said, the accountability is huge. And can you imagine how pissed some of those guys with wives and kids? Yeah, honey, I gotta go to work today. Sorry. Can't take you shopping into lunch. Not happening. See you later. So good by him to get that done. So tell me, so what are your thoughts on some of the game? What about, man, I tell you, one of the best plays I've seen this version of the Bruins and post, Marchand Chara, Bergeron era, that power play goal as the time was expiring when Zacha buried that thing with 0.1 seconds left. What an incredible play that was. That was one of the best goals I've seen this incarnation of the Bruins score. And it was hysterical because they buried it and no one celebrated. They all looked up at the clock. All 10 guys on the ice were like, what just happened? So what were your thoughts on that snipe? That was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, well, my thoughts are, I think, we're talking a lot about Geeky and the season he's having. I think a lot of people are jumping on the Steeves bandwagon right now, rightfully so. But not enough people are really talking about the season Pavel Zacha is having right now. He's been arguably, I'd say he's behind Geeky. He might be their second best player. I mean, one could argue Pastrnak, obviously, but he's in the top three for me. He's had a great season. He's playing great all-around hockey. He's chipping in offensively. He's chipping in defensively. He's such a versatile player and such a great weapon for the coaching staff to have, where you can put him on the PK as well. So I just think that's another example of the play they've been getting for him. And this is probably why. Yeah, there are a lot of teams that were calling on Pavel Zacha over the summer, and his name was out there for sure. And I know that for fact. And people can dispute it all they want, but it was. But this is why Don Sweeney said no. He's a useful part of our team right now, and clearly he's worth a lot more than maybe people are offering on the trade market.
Absolutely, and a good cap number controlled for next year. You can't do anything with that guy, like especially if what you're trying to build, what it seems like they're trying to build. Like we talked with Bridget last night. Yeah, you need guys like Pavel Zacha that are versatile two-way forwards, have some offensive skill. Sure, does he frustrate fans sometimes, when he'll go on and have a couple, 3, 4, 5 game run where, he misses the net and doesn't bury him. But again, just what he brings to the table is just solid consistency. And you got to like that as a fan.
Yeah. And by the way, not to interrupt you, Brendan, but just in case you haven't seen or anybody else hasn't seen, David Pastrnak on the ice before the team today, did not skate with the team, but skated for the first time since his injury. So that's a small baby step towards him getting back to playing for the Bruins. So that's a good sign.
No, that's huge. And you know what? What I would do is, and you tell me what you think there, buddy. Obviously he's not going to play Saturday tomorrow against the Devils. Certainly wouldn't play him. Maybe if he wants to come on the trip, wouldn't play him today against those same Blues. And I don't know if you'd play him against Winnipeg, who as you guys were talking about on the eye test, has been very enigmatic and kind of a strange team this year. They're beat up. I would wait till the Minnesota game to bring him back so that he's as close to 100% as he could be. What do you think?
I don't know when. I'm not even thinking that far ahead, man. He's just skating right now. I don't think he's close to returning yet. I don't think.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think this is just like I said. This is a baby step. I don't think it's to the point where they're able to pick the game he comes back right now. I think, we'll just take it day by day. I think this injury was worse than they originally thought,
Sure.
and they're playing it safe. And if he doesn't play until after the new year, and that means him being great down the stretch run and being healthy, and then he gets a 2 week,
100%.
take your time. I've got no and it look, they're doing all right without him. They're not suffering too bad. It looked like they might, but they're making do. So no rush there.
So, all right, I'm going to throw a couple of topics here. Let's touch on it. We have to touch on it. And I know you were all over it when it happened. Jim Montgomery in his return to Boston was the first time he met with the media. Was very humble and gregarious. And I think no matter what anyone thinks of Jim Montgomery as a coach, as an X's and O's guy, you have to respect and like this guy as a human being. He's all class. He's all dignity. He handled everything with class and grace, was great with the media. Kind of put a bow on his tenure and kind of what your thoughts were from his comments yesterday.
Look, first off, before I do that, and I'm not going to name the reporter and I actually like the guy and I think he's a good reporter. He's a colleague of mine, but I did not appreciate a tweet I saw this morning. And just for a heads up, I slept through the game and got up and watched the game at 6:30 this morning.
Nothing wrong with that. It was a good game plan.
Yeah, it was good. I like watching games over breakfast. It was fun. But one of our colleagues in Boston who has become a very reputable reporter. And again, I think he does a great job, but I think he was a little off base when he tweeted above the video of he tweeted the video tribute they gave Jim Montgomery. And then he sarcastically said, "Oh, of course, everyone deserves a video tribute. I get it. These teams have gone out of control with the players they give video tributes.
We've talked about it on this show. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you play one shift, you get a video tribute. I agree.
I
get
will
that.
remember you.
Yeah. I get that. I get when people are upset when they overdo it with a guy that really doesn't deserve one. But this was a coach who was here for 2.25 seasons who, yes, you can say anyone could have succeeded with the team he had in 22-23. I get it. And I get how you're upset that they got knocked out in the first round and he made some coaching mistakes. That's fine. But to say that he didn't deserve a video tribute, I mean, he did help a team to the best regular season record ever in the history of the NHL, not just the history of the Bruins, the history of the NHL. And no, that team wouldn't have done that without any coach behind the bench. They wouldn't have. They still needed a coach. So I thought it was kind of a classless shot, and he knows who he is. And if he sees this, sorry, man, tell it like it is. It was a classless shot.
I agree with you.
Jim Montgomery, to me, is the epitome of a comeback story. And we all know what happened with him in Dallas. He battled his demons. He had an issue with alcohol, and it caught up to him. And I'm sure 90% of the people that are knocking Jim Montgomery and take pot shots at him for his alcoholism are alcoholics themselves. So they can shut the bleep up. That's my take on that, because I didn't like the stuff I saw flying at Jim Montgomery. There's another reporter that I've been friends with for a while who seems to be celebrating every failure he has in St. Louis. I don't know what the thing is. Like, did Jim Montgomery shoot your dog? Like it's a
little odd.
To Boston media that's like shitting all over him. Like, settle down. This guy was nothing but class to us. He was easy to talk to. He stayed afterwards and would talk to you after his press conferences were done. He was always class. He was always funny. And do I agree with all the coaching decisions he made? No, but he did a good job overall. And it's not his fault that the Bruins wouldn't give him market value and the Blues did. End of story. And I think he deserved that video tribute, and good on him. I feel horrible for him that St. Louis is faltering right now. And I don't think it's his fault at all. I think that's a team that kind of like the Bruins.
They just need to be blown up.
They needed a revamping. And Doug Armstrong has kind of tried to hold on since 2019. And and hold on to the glory days and pretend it's still there.
Where have we seen that?
Yeah, and it's just, it is what it is. But I just think that people need to show a little more class in the Boston area when it comes to him.
Well said. I mean, take my stance on it if you want to. I mean, again, great human being. You have to admire what he's done. Like I said, picking alcoholism, that's huge. We all have loved ones and, friends and family who've done it. But if you want to criticize him like I do for his X's and O's and think that,
That's fine.
then that's how I feel, right? Like
Yeah.
out of their last, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I think he was a better coach than Sacco, but compared to, Cassidy and Sturm, he's 3 on that list to me because of how
Do
he
you still
coached
think he
in game.
deserved the video? I
Most
do.
definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. You get, Brick said it last night. What was the 65 wins and 132 points or whatever it was? That right there gets you the video.
Yeah.
Even if he would have walked away after that season and came back. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, and hey, remember you had said it. We talked, we were just friends then. You were like, after the disaster against the Panthers, you were like, they would be justified to fire Montgomery right now.
That would, honestly, and I said that you're right. That would have been the time to do it. I don't think it was last year. I don't think it was what happened last year in the beginning of last year. I think was a result of management and scouting, not the
Bingo.
coach. But what happened in that series in the first round when they lost to the Panthers, when the Panthers went on to lose to the Knights, right? Was it the Knights that won that year in 2023? The Avs and the Knights? I don't know. It's all COVID screws me up, man. All these years
Yeah,
since
man.
2020 blur.
They beat
It was the Knights. I just looked it up.
Panthers.
It was the Knights. Yep. So, that would have been a year where I would have done it. Like, I actually thought he coached amazingly, not this past season before this. The one when they lost to the Panthers in the second round in 6 games, when Swayman was unreal. And
Yes,
they
2 years
beat the
ago.
Leafs in 7.
Yep.
I actually thought he did a better job coaching that season than he did the prior year because he lost Krejci and Bergeron. And he still got them to the second round of the playoffs.
Well, and to your point, again, not a strong X's and O's guy. And this is not his style either. Well, it wasn't when he came here. He actually, and you have to respect him for this, he got out of his comfort zone as a coach. He openly called out David Pastrnak, which was never his style.
Exactly.
Pastrnak wins the series for you with that sick goal.
Yeah.
On that pass from Lindholm. That's in the highlight that's in our open for the show.
Yeah. And something too, I think that should be pointed out, and I think Bridget and I touched on it the other day. I feel like any coach that was coming into that locker room in 2022, 23, right? Where you had the bulk of that core was still there, minus Char, right? But you still had Krejci and Bergeron, really strong voices. You had guys that had been there that were like sort of Reg Dunlop coaches, coach/player. I feel like it didn't matter what any coach did. It was going to be hard to come into that locker room and install your voice. Like, your voice was going to be silenced by the players no matter what. I don't care if you're, Scotty Bowman in his prime or Pat Burns or Cole Blake. Scouts? What? I don't care if you were like one of the best coaches ever. It was just going to be hard to establish your voice in a locker room that had such a strong presence coming from the players' side. So he was kind of doomed from the start when it came to that. But then when they left, like you said, yeah, he started to establish his voice there. And the only guy left really was Pasta. So I think he did a great job. I wish him the best in St. Louis, but, they got some work to do. And I think we're going to see some trades from them soon.
I don't think he's going to make it to 5 years. So,
no, I don't either.
Good for him. I mean, he got the bag when the Bruins wouldn't give him. He got that term. So yeah. He's going to have a nice.
I think he gets another year after this. I think he'll get another year after this. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of brings me to the end. So, all right. I'll throw you some other Bruin stuff here, but you made reference to it. Who do you think's going from that Blues roster? And do you think the Bruins get in on any of those guys?
I mean, at first I thought it was going to be, maybe Jordan Kyrou. We heard his name all last summer. We heard it a lot at the draft and into free agency. I think he's still a very strong candidate to be dealt. But now I think it's anyone, man. Like I could see Binnington being traded. I've heard there was a big rumor floating around while we were in Ireland. There were some scouts actually there. It was amazing. There was actually 5 NHL scouts at those games in Ireland for those college games.
Cool.
and a couple of them I was talking to, and there was a big blockbuster. I don't know how it started, but it was going to be Parayko and Binnington to Edmonton for Bouchard and Skinner. Yeah, which I think Edmonton would be like robbing St. Louis blind on that. But here's the thing, and my co-host Pierre McGuire pointed this out, and again, I know people don't like to hear, and I saw some comments the other day that I'm overreacting about the realities of the economy and real money versus just cap space, and how real life can affect transactions and trades. You look at that deal. What's St. Louis doing with that deal? They're not worried about what they're getting back. They're dumping money. And a study came out last week. I forget who did it. I apologize. It might have been Greg Wyshynski, and if it wasn't, I apologize to the writer who did it. But it was a chart where every year around this time, they have 3 tiers of attendance in the NHL, and who's sort of stayed the same, who's risen, who's in the mid-level, and who's really dropping. St. Louis has been in the top, in the first tier, for the last 15 years. They are now on the borderline of the bottom tier, the 3rd tier. They've dropped that much in attendance right now. And it's a direct result of the economy right now in the Midwest and everything that's going on. And you think about that, the owner is probably feeling the pinch. So that's why you're getting these big names that are available out there. It's not just because of their play on the ice. It's not just because St. Louis is struggling. You're going to see cap dumps from teams like St. Louis right now. And, if the Bruins want to get in on that, that would be great. If I'm the Bruins, like, I'm going to pull up St. Louis's.
So could I throw a scenario at you while you look?
Yeah.
So tell me if you do this, if you're Don Sweeney. You call up St. Louis, Doug Armstrong, and you say, I'll give you Panthers pick next year. The worst of the 2 picks of ours or the Leafs, a roster player, and prospect for Robert Thomas. Is that an overpay by the Bruins, or is that a fair offer? The guy, I think he's 27.
Say that again. Sorry, I just got a text.
No worries. So the first round pick from the Panthers in 2 years, the worser, and that's not a word, I know, butchering the English language, whichever one of their picks this coming draft is the worst one, the Leafs or theirs, so a late first round pick or whatever, non-lottery, okay, prospect and a roster player for Robert Thomas, getting your number 1 center.
I'd do that in a heartbeat. I just don't know if St. Louis would do it, but maybe they will, given the situation I told you they're in financially. I don't think he's out there, though. I think that's one guy that Doug Armstrong has said to his owner, I'm not dealing him. I'm going to go through the lineup right now. I'm going to give you the guys that I know for a fact that are at least the Blues are listening to. Kyrou, Schenn, Buchnevich, Suter, Joseph, Bugstad, Sundqvist. These are names I've heard. Falk, Parayko, Fowler, and Binnington.
Wow.
The guy I would go after in a heartbeat, and I know he's still got 4 years left at a 6.5 cap hit. I don't care. If the Bruins are suddenly like, okay, we're in that win now, like we think we can go for it, then you go out and get Parayko. Because what have I been saying, and you agreed with me, Brennan, that there's one thing that people aren't talking about. We all talk, of course, they need a true number 1 center, but what else do they need? They need a guy in that Brandon Carlos spot in the second period.
Right.
He's 32 years old. He's still got I think he's got at least 2 years of game left in him. If you could get the Blues to eat a bit of the contract, I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Sidebar, and I know this is whatever.
Or I'd go for Kyrou, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's only 27, so.
We got the fellas all in the chat. Sidebar. Anyone, and this is terrible, but anyone missing Henry Yokoharu right now? The albatross
Hey,
himself.
let's stay positive right
Stay
now.
positive. It's Friday.
Let-
My
let's
bad. My
stay
bad, man.
positive.
I mean,
Yep.
that's the Irish Bostonian in me. I got to slip something negative in there on you. Yeah, I mean, like Ethan's saying, and we'll go through the comments here shortly. But yeah, I mean, Thomas might be a fantasy, but like I said, if you could still have one pick in the McKenna draft in the first round, and
Ugh.
maybe move out some, they'd obviously have to move out Middlestat if they were taking on Thomas's contract, maybe in another deal. But maybe, I know my offer was whatever, but maybe you up that ante and you convince him to do it. And I mean, Robert Thomas on this Bruins roster, man, I don't know, man, it's scary.
That would be
How
something.
quick they could turn it around.
Yeah.
With that, but yes, their forward group would instantly improve, but they would still have to work on that D, because right now I think the D is, to your point, a bigger hole right now than their forwards.
Well, and I think that thing with the D right now, and a credit to all the guys who are being called up or called in from above, they're playing way above what they are.
Sure. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of guys. It's I think sorry, drawing a blank. The Quebec kid. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, Brunet?
No.
Aspero.
Aspero. I
Yeah.
always want to call him apricot, but it's Aspero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aspero, he's been a great story and a great revelation. And this is a kid that, look, he's like what, 26, 27. He's earned his dues, he's paid his dues. He finally gets to the NHL first game in Montreal, and he's been great. So like they've credit to that's another thing we need to give some credit to, Brennan, is the coaching staff down in Providence. I think they've been unreal. Like the way they are preparing these guys to be ready when they're called upon. They're being called upon a lot because the injury bug is just ravaging the Bruins. They deserve a lot of credit. So, but sooner or later that runs out. Like, let's just be real. Sooner or later,
Right. You turn into a pumpkin at midnight.
Yeah, that's going to happen. So, what I'd say is, I think right now, if I'm on the trade market and I'm looking for something, unless that number one center is there, I'm more focused on getting defense depth, because when it comes down to it and you get to the playoffs, that's what matters most. As Scotty Bowman said, you can never have too many defensemen. You can't.
Agreed. Well said. All right. So the last topic here that I want to throw at you before we get to the listener comments, we got to talk about him. You mentioned him when you were recapping the game, Alex Steeves.
Oh,
so
what a
what
revelation.
are your sources around the league saying about this guy? Is this for real? Is he going to be a consistent performer now? What are people thinking?
My sources are saying, how can we get our team to make deals with Toronto, or how can we raid Toronto like the Bruins have? Because the Bruins have absolutely just, I don't want to. It's not the proper.
Now they did let Steeves walk. That was not
I
a
know
trade.
they
They
let
let
him
him
walk,
walk.
but it's still the Bruins are right there to scoop him up. My sources are saying the Bruins scouting staff right now, their pro scouting staff who watches the AHL, the NHL, and even European pro hockey, deserves a ton of credit right now. People can shit on the amateur staff all they want for the bad drafts the Bruins have had, but you got to give credit where it's due. And those guys that are paying the dues, that are, driving through snowstorms in Rochester, New York, and all these undesirable locations in the AHL.
Yeah, I've made that drive. That's not a fun drive.
Yeah, in the ECHL and all that. They deserve a lot of credit right now, and they better be getting some pay raises because they've done a great job. And Steeves is a good player. He was great at Notre Dame. It's a great story. And do I think he can keep it up at the rate he's at? No, but I think he's here to stay. I think this is a guy he's a third liner for sure on an NHL.
Could he score 20 goals in the NHL consistently, you think?
Yes, I do believe that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you talk about what a find, and I said it last episode. I think Don Sweeney's got to be they're home right now. Don Sweeney's got to be in front of them trying to extend him, as soon as possible to keep him in the fold at a good rate.
Before it gets too high, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because there's going to be teams desperate. If he gets away, they're going to pay him second line money to play on their second line.
Yeah.
So tying in the Steve situation, I'm going to throw something at you before we get to the listeners. So here's my thought. The emergence of Steeves now gives the Bruins versatility. And my thinking as I was preparing for the episode today, when Costa comes back, reconfigure the lines. And here's what I would do. And you tell me if I'm nuts. You do it all the time, so just tell me. I mean, I am nuts, I know, but
Yeah, you're nuts no matter what, and so am I. But
yes, thank you. Yeah, I
I'd
would
rather
actually
I'd rather be nuts than normal. Normal's boring.
100%. Yeah, normal's so lame. I would actually make the first line Middlestad, Zaka, and Pasta. So I put the checks back together. And then the second line I would have be this Steeves, Lindholm, Geeky line. So then you have two strong lines that can score. Those guys seem to be clicking like crazy. Steeves, Lindholm, Geeky. I know, it took Pasta and Elias a while to click, and they seem better than they certainly were last year. And obviously the whole Monty Sacco, whatever. And then Lindholm was hurt. But then you go, Janot, you break up that might hurt a little bit. You break up the Janot, Minton, Kastelik line, and you put Arvidsson on that.
They're not going to break
Okay.
that up.
So then do you drop Arvidsson down to the fourth line, or do you trade him?
That was going to be my question to you. Like, where do you see? I'm not sold on Middlestat. I'm never going to be. I just
I know. I agree with you. And I think he's the one that Sweeney's going to try to trade for a center star team. I agree with you.
He already is trying. He already has tried. That's the guy that would be out. So I would have. Do
you like my concept of two strong lines instead of one just stack
I mean,
line?
I would keep Steeves, Lindholm, and Geeky together, and then I would move Arvidsson over to the left and bring in Pasta on the right with Zaka in between. That's how I'd do it.
I like it.
And then you can rotate Middlestat and Kuz in and out of the fourth line
if you're able to trade them.
Yeah, you just rotate them in and out.
Love it. Okay. Yeah, that was it, man. I mean, like I said, again, the parity abounds in the league. The Bruins, they have the most games played in the division, but 32 points, second in the Atlantic, one game in hand on most of the teams. But it's just a mismatch. You wake up every day and the standings are completely flipped around than they were the day before.
Yeah,
and everyone's so close. And to me, and you watch more games around the league than I do, probably twice as much. But my thing is, to me, if the Bruins bring a consistent effort, and they've only haven't twice this year, they're in every game. And there's a lot of teams that you can't say that. And they have accomplished, and we've already said it a million times, they've accomplished their mission of being hard to play against. And when they get away from that, they have, trash like they did Tuesday here in Detroit. But, I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, without mortgaging the future, if they can somehow upgrade this team, I mean, I know we're only 30 games in. Is it silly that they could win a round or two if with the right tweaking?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that's what they're looking to do, but it's, I don't think they found the right match on the trade market. But I mean, like, as I reported last week, they definitely were and are looking into Kiefer Sherwood in Vancouver. They're one of many. Well, if he's a rental, Brendan, I don't care. Honestly, I'd bring him in as a rental. I wouldn't do it yet, but I would bring him in as a rental. If you're not giving up a first round pick, if you can get away with a second and a prospect, maybe a second in Lysell, I'd do that.
Fair. Okay.
I think the kid's a good player. He's another good find that kind of slipped through the cracks, kind of like Steeves. He's going to bring you size. I would do that if you're not giving up a first rounder and you're not, overpaying. But yeah, there's a lot going on right now. I think what we're going to see, though, is we get into the holidays here and coming out of it in January, heading towards the Olympic break. I think between now, so what's today, December 5th, between now and January 5th, I think there's going to be some separation just because so many teams are dealing with injuries. It's starting to wear on teams. I think teams are getting figured out. Teams that maybe snuck up on on more, contenders, so to speak. I think they're getting, second time around when they play a team, that team's ready for them. They're not going to upset them. So I feel like we're getting to a point where it's going to be the contenders are going to separate a little from the pretenders. I'm not saying the Bruins are a pretender. I'm just saying we're going to see some separation right now. And that's a good thing, because then I think you have a better idea of where you are and who you are.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I just pulled the schedule up here for you before we get to the
Yeah, how many
viewers,
games did they
listeners.
have in December, by the way, the Bruins?
Huh?
How many games did the Bruins have in December? No.
14. 14.
14. So that's not bad. I feel like they were very top heavy in the beginning, right?
Yes, yeah, they played a ton of games right off the hop.
Whereas you look at Montreal, it's got 17 games this month.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Only one back-to-back in this entire month.
And guess how many Montreal has?
3.
4.
Dang. Brutal. Well, to your point though, the Bruins start playing the varsity here in the month of December. They have the St. Louis game squeezed in. But the Devils at home.
Not that great though right now, man.
What's that?
Winnipeg's not that great right now.
Yeah, no Hellebuck, exactly.
Yeah, it's not. I don't, like you said. I know you don't watch. I've watched them a few times. It's actually not the goaltending that's been the problem. Eric Comrie's playing really well. They're just slow and old, man. They look really old out there.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't. That's a winnable game too on that road trip if we're looking ahead.
I'm talking, and to your point, yeah, the standings, but roster and talent. I mean, you're playing some of the, Minnesota's an absolute wagon right now. They're on fire.
They're
Utah, the Oilers come to Boston the week before Christmas, and McDavid and Draisaitl always put on a show at TD Garden for whatever reason. The Canucks at home, they're a disaster, so there's a very winnable game besides the St. Louis game. But then the one back-to-back, again, one of those rare home back-to-backs, they play Ottawa the next night, and Ottawa is they're the definition of mid too. They either look amazing or they look terrible. And then like you said, the Les Habitants, and then heading out on the road, that western swing, they play Calgary, who's brutal too, but that's a tough road trip. I mean, you're gonna, to your point, man, that's why you're the Jedi Master. This is gonna be it. Because it could all go off the rails really quickly, or it can make you say, dang, okay, this team is way better than we thought. And I know, people around the league media kind of starting to take a little bit of notice. And I know we kind of said they bought into their own press the other night. But yeah, this month is definitely going to be telling.
Yep. Yeah.
Well said, brother.
I don't
all
think
right, man. You want to?
That's the bottom line. I don't think they can sneak up on teams anymore.
No. The coaches are telling these guys if they show up, they're gonna hit us all night. I mean, I watched that Saturday Wings game. Obviously, watched them all start to finish, but you said it. The Red Wings wanted no part of it. They wanted to kill those guys.
Yeah, they were giving up the puck when they heard footsteps. That's basically what happened. The whole game.
Exactly. And Kastelik, Coldcock, and Snyder there too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the listeners here. Shano up there in Montreal, our wonderful producer. Let's see what we got here. All right, there's our guy at Harry Mossaway, 8737. Steeves personifies the identity of the Bees. Love his game, hard work in every shift.
Agreed.
And skill to add. Yes. That guy throws bombs for hits. He's out there like Scud missile. It's fun to see.
Yep, I agree.
What else you got, Shane? Harry Mossaway, 8737 again. Hey, boys, what do you think of the success the kids are having in college, namely Hagens, Letourneau, and Zellers? Jimmy, you take this one, Murph Dog.
So I think it's great. It's awesome. I think that everybody's right. You keep hearing, Letourneau should have never gone to college last year. This should have been his freshman year, 100%. I said that when he showed up at BC last year, he was there too early, and that's been proven right. I think all those guys are looking great right now. The one thing I would caution is the Hockey East is not what it was last year. The Hockey East was a wagon last year. Every game was a war. Yep. Every game was like you were playing in the pros. I mean, it was a war of attrition. The skill was off the charts, but so many of those guys left for the pros. The quality of play is not as good. So I would say keep an eye on what they do. And now you're not going to get many of them, right? Because there's not many left, but out of conference. See how they go against ECAC teams and stuff like that, or see how they are in the second half of the season when the games start to mean a little more and they're battling for playoff position. So, But I'm not taking anything away from them. These guys have been great. Greg Brown's doing a great job as the quasi Providence Bruins assistant coach. I mean, it's basically a minor league team for the Bruins.
Yeah, no doubt. Exactly. It's pretty funny. To add to that, the one thing I would say about Letourneau is, I think the right move for him, and I keep asking this, and you might know, like, how long, because I know he was in juniors prior, how long do they have to sign Letourneau? Like, do they control it? So I guess my question is long-winded. Can he come back next year to BC and the Bruins still control
Yeah,
the
no,
franchise?
they have until the August 1st after he graduates.
Okay.
So
Okay.
no, wait. You know what? Good question. I want to make sure on that.
Yeah, that's been driving me crazy because here's what I think, and again, that's who I'm the most excited about. And he even got some national run the other day on one of the hockey websites, trade rumor websites. But my thing is, okay, so Hagens is clearly going to leave after this season.
Yeah, he's gone.
How is Letourneau then going to perform coming back when he's the number one center in at BC? And if he that's the true litmus test if you have a top
No,
six
I'm right.
forward.
I'm right. I was just wrong on the date.
Okay. So when
So an NHL team has the exclusive right to sign a drafted NCAA player until 30 days after the player leaves college, a window that is typically extends the standard 4-year draft hold for college players, with the hard deadline often falling on August 15th after their final year if they don't sign sooner. So if he stays for all 4 years, he's still theirs until the August 15th after he graduates.
that's awesome. Okay, great. So they can much like
Not a worry right now.
with Hagens, they can sit there and say, like, okay, Dean Hagens turned pro. We need to see you one more year at BC.
I think he needs 2 more
Okay.
because
Okay.
he's still young. Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, but I mean,
We'll let
he's
him
so
go.
far what you're seeing, that jump has been huge. And I think it's got me excited. And, normally I don't really get that excited about prospects, but, a
Yeah.
guy that's that big and the way he's played, I hope that, because then, if he turns out to be a top 6 player, a lot of people are going to have to, pontificate at Don Sweeney for that pick if he hits a home run with it.
Yep.
So, all right, what else you got for us, Shane? There's our guy at Ethan Russell 5512. What makes me mad is that Jim got blamed for the lack of roster depth given to him last year. A podcaster said last year to Montgomery that we, Bruins fans, don't miss you. What a joke to say that. Yeah, I mean, it shows you the world we live in, again, and I'm going to tout Jimmy again for this, not just because he's my buddy and my partner here on this show. We try to do this podcast with like journalistic integrity and try to keep it close to the line as we possibly can. But that's just crap to say that. Like, if you want to say that to Montgomery at like a fan fest, or if you're passing him in the airport and you feel like being a douche, fine. But to do that in that setting when you're credentialed, it's so weak.
Yeah. Yep.
What else you got for us, Shane? At Jesse Jimenez, 2086. Boston negotiated against themselves when it came to Yoki Haru. I know they were thin at the position, but I'd rather have liked for them to use a Band-Aid for this year and revisit at deadline summer. Well said, Jesse. Welcome to the show.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, total overpay. Yeah, Jimmy said it a couple episodes ago. Yeah, the cap's going up, but so what? Still, you're burning 3 million, 3.5 on that guy, and it's not good. What else you got for us, Shane? At Ethan Russell 5512. I mean, do you think you could get Kyrou, Parenko in the same trade from Middlestat, Yoki Haru, 2026 first, 2027 first? Obviously, Arvidsson has to be traded. Don't think St. Louis would want him. Well, yeah, no one wants Yoki Haru, number one. But go ahead, Jimmy. What do you think, bud?
No, you're not like, yeah, Ethan, I love you. Yoki Haru's like, no, but the other stuff, I think Doug Armstrong does want more bodies, not just a lot of picks, and Middlestat is probably not one of those bodies. But those picks are going to have to be in there for sure. Those picks would definitely have to be in there.
What else you got for us, Shane?
I think he said that's. Oh, we got one more.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Harry Mostaway, 87-37. Franco and Kyrou should definitely be targets.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
So nice. Well, yeah, we appreciate everyone. Like I said, different time to be doing the show, kind of like a West Coast game.
I kind of like this stuff.
I do. You know what's funny? I feel like I'm way sharper than I am after being awake
Yeah,
for
for sure. Well, you're able to
15 hours.
process your reaction and your thoughts,
100%. 100%. I feel like this has been our best show so far.
Maybe we'll do this on Fridays.
Because we're both like, like I said, you're sick, but fresh as a daisy. Got the coffee's flowing.
You guys saw, if I tried to stay up for that last night, I would have been like, yeah. Okay.
Oh, dude. I mean, not trying to, not trying to pull an Aaron Andrews like you did the other night, but like, bro, I get up at 5:30 every day. So like by 10 o'clock, I'm a zombie.
Yeah, we're getting old.
And if I drink caffeine, then I'd be up all night like I smoke crank. Or
Yeah,
something.
that's the worst thing, man. It's when you're trying to stay up and then you get done with work and you're so excited to go to sleep and then you're like,
dude, yeah. You're just laying in bed staring at the ceiling, like, okay, yeah, that was a fun game.
Getting old sucks.
Yeah, totally.
All right, good stuff. Thanks.
Thanks guys for all the comments. Appreciate you being here. Tell your friends, man. We're trying to grow these subscribers. Let's do it. We're gonna do a cheesy contest here. Jimmy and I got to talk about this weekend.
Okay.
We're gonna plan that out. So hopefully that'll increase in viewership and help our loyal listeners win something. All right, before we wrap up, Devils come to town. Obviously a highly touted team, but they've had their struggles too, and their franchise player almost cut his finger off. So
yeah,
certainly a winnable game.
The other thing too, remember they're playing Vegas tonight, so they're coming in on a tail end. They're going to get in late, so this is a good spot for the Bruins for sure.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. So if they go Markstrom tonight,
no, they went Markstrom last game. They're going out. I believe. Wait, it might already be up. Let me check.
So Allen tonight, and then Markstrom tomorrow. The Bruins always seem to play well.
I'd rather face Markstrom than Jake Allen. Jake Allen's farly outplayed Markstrom this year. I don't know why. Oh, look at that. They're going back to Markstrom tonight. That stinks for the Bruins. I'd rather Markstrom. Well, listen to his stats too. Markstrom, I was looking at the other day when I was doing my picks for Betway on the eye test, and I was studying Markstrom. 9 of his last 10 starts, he's allowed the first goal. That's crushing to a defense in front of you, man. Like that's just right off the bat, you're playing behind the 8 ball, and they've all come within the first 6 minutes.
You had a similar stat on Corpy going into last night, and he didn't do it.
No, I thought Corpy played great. By the way, the Bruins got outshot pretty good. But to win that game 5-2 just shows you how bad Bennington was.
Right. Yeah, you can't that Arvidsson goal that made it 3-1. That was like the backbreaker. You can't let that go in.
Blame Monty for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Whiny baby. I hate him.
Yeah, he's a tool.
I shouldn't say that about a player, but I don't like guys that whine and blame everyone but themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, certainly a winnable game, for the Bees. They, could get on another little heater here because going back to St. Louis and they are bad. I mean, would you say they're the worst team in the league that you've seen so far?
Right now, yeah, I would say they're right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Calgary's playing better.
Good. Vancouver's pretty. Yeah, but Calgary shows up every game. That's the thing. Like, yeah, they're not great standings wise, but every time I watch Calgary, there's an effort. And hey, who saw them winning that game against Minnesota last night? Like they're coming. They show up every game. So anyone out there too, like, and I know we probably don't have anyone from Calgary watching, so this won't matter. But for anyone out there suggesting Ryan Huska lose his job, you're on crack. Watch the games. They're playing amazing. They're playing great hard hockey. They just don't have the guns. They don't have the skill. That's it. And they'll get there. That's a team that will be in 3 years. They will be a playoff contender regularly.
They're kind of like Bruins light but they don't have the grinders that the Bruins have.
They don't have Pastrnak.
And they don't have Pastrnak. Yes, an all-world top 5 player. Yeah. But to your, Huska, Craig Conroy, that's his stamp all over that team. Yeah. That's exactly the type of player he was.
It's just they're not playing, man. They're lost.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah. It's wild. So, all right. Well, that's going to wrap this late morning edition. We got to think of a clever name for it. The the coherent edition.
Bruins Vibe Brunch. Bruins Brunch.
Yeah. Bruins Vibes Brunch. Yeah, fun show today.
Next
Appreciate
time
everybody
we'll bring mimosas and Bloody Marys.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, speaking of that, did you see you were talking about God again, people that just constantly run their mouth, and I don't know who did it, but did you hear in the scrum with Monty the other day? They asked him where he had dinner, and he said, I forget the name of the joint in the North End. And he said, then of course he ate in the North End, right? Like, if I was come back to town tomorrow, I'm eating in the North End. It's what everybody does. But I guess this place is famous. It wasn't Bork's place, I know that.
Yeah.
But the place is famous for its the place is famous for its espresso martini. And some douche went, "Oh, did you have the espresso martini?" And again, I don't like Jim Montgomery as an X's and O's coach, but I like him as a human being. It shows you what a good guy this guy is. He could have blown that dude up, stared him down, gone all John Tortorella on him. And he was like, "Oh, well, I don't know." He said something to the effect of like, "Oh, well, I didn't. I ordered the virgin one because I'm a recovering alcoholic. I don't know if you knew that or something." But he didn't say it like a prick at all. You know what I mean? Like he
Good for him. See, there you go.
class all the way. So you guys that again, hate on this guy for his X and O's. He blew it, not going to Swayman in the record-setting season a game earlier. Fine, but to act this like this guy, like you said, murdered a puppy or something, like, get off it. It's a joke. Yeah. So anyways, thanks to all the listeners, Harry, Jesse, Ethan, thanks for being here on this late morning, funky time. My producer, Shane, the man up in Montreal, the man with the plan. Murph Doggy Dog, thanks to you and all your insight. Sick Podcast Network, we love being here. We are the Sickest Bruins podcast. Everyone have a great weekend. I'm your guy, Brendan. He's Jimmy. See you later, everybody.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Bruins Vibes on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.